Ticker symbol VIRI, getting the upside that we spoke of just yesterday. Let's go ahead and go over the potentials for the coming days, as there are absolute signals suggesting a continuation to the upside. What is up, you guys? Thank you so much for stopping by. Once again, this is ARCa coming at you with a ticker symbol VIRI, technicals, raw price action, and statistical threat of analysis on this Taco Tuesday. Before we get started, please make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share the video with a friend so that you and them could consider joining our trading community in Discord called ARCa Bulls. With that said, let's dive right into the charts. Okay, you guys, so we are looking at VIRI on the daily chart here, and this is essentially where we were looking at we're eyeballing the resistance between the area of about 199 and 205, right? Located right at the three spot 272, and the target that we're looking at here per the opening of this candle, right? So I want to break down the importance of what's happening right now, right? So please go ahead and notice this, okay? So this is the wedge that we came out of, right? So this is a right-angled broadening ascending wedge. Okay, so the way that you actually can measure that price objective is by taking a trend line from the top side of the wedge all the way to the bottom side of it, right from the area where we finally closed a candle outside of the resistance, okay? So now that we closed a candle outside of the resistance, very likely for the price action to come back, validate the newly converted resistance, or what was a resistance, into now a support, and then the upside continuation happens, right? So we would take a trend line from that breakout candle closure and we apply it to that zone, as that would give us the psychological target to look at, okay? So just like this. So now we have a target here, based on this breakout here, we were able to see that we had a target. Mind you, I've had this line here forever, okay? So of about 177. So now let me draw a line just a little bit across there so that you can see exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, so 177 we said, right? Let me draw it right across like this here. And please notice that that is the area that we've been actually combating as resistance for several days, right? And now we're starting to get that upside breakout from it. Okay, you guys, another thing that we should take into note here is that we are facing the resistance very, very close to the 2.618 golden mean. Okay, that is at 189, and the price action today led to a 188 top and resisted. Okay, you guys, very likely for price action to resist within that geometrical mean. Okay, so this is the golden mean, the golden ratio, the 618 target, right? All the 618s within the Fibonacci retracement, within the Fibonacci sequence, whatever you want to call it, they're absolutely pertinent, and we must take them at least into consideration, right? So I do in my particular style. Okay, you guys, so yeah, I mean, if there's going to be any type of retracement here, which I don't see in the immediate short-term time frame or the higher term just yet, it would be particular to the area of about 180 to, again, that 177 range to look at as a potential reloading zone before a continuation to the upside. Okay, you guys, so now let's go ahead and move on the analysis here, because, oh, I'm sorry, there was one more thing that we had touched on this before, but I mean, I guess we can just do it real quick, right? I have it in another chart, but this was the we're actually facing the breakout from the the symmetrical triangle, right? So this is the or could be a pennant, right? So built after an uptrend or during an uptrend, and absolutely has a price objective for us to look at too, right? So another bullish formation for us to take into consideration, right? So and then we apply it to that breakout here, and that is suggesting a top side of about $2.16. Okay, you guys, so, and please notice right over here where the 3.618 is located, right at $2.15, marking perfectly with that psychological target. Okay, you guys, so I do have to say though that we have a very critical area of resistance in that 206 zone. It doesn't mean that we can't actually wick up to the top side here to meet that 216 or 215 before a retracement, right? So it's also a formation. The formation doesn't have any mathematical properties to it. It's just it's psychologically backed, right? So this, as long as it is built during an upside and starts reaccumulating and converging like this is usually a reaccumulation period for a burst to the upside, right? So this in this case here, yeah, many people can be seeing this, and the upside target or the upside trajectory for this is located also at a golden mean. So that's very important for us to take into note. Okay, so I think, okay, so yeah, there's a few other things that of course we have to talk about, right? First of all, if loading my algorithm here, loading my ARC averages, which is my moving averages that I look at, of course we have the SMA 200 and the 50 right over here, and notice that my algorithm is actually printing the first iteration here of a golden cross, right? So it's happening right now as we can just take out the visibility of it, and you can see the moving averages are now touching, and that golden cross effect seems to have already started today, right? So as we got a very impulsive move to the upside, particularly to that 188 top, right? So that's very likely to happen when we get across of the shorter time frame SMA 50 over the longer term time frame SMA 200 on the daily chart. Okay, you guys, so that's very, very important for us to take into account, as historically speaking, it has led to some pretty exponential upsides following that golden cross, right, you guys? So another thing to mention here is that the daily time frame volatility is starting to contract here. In fact, it's about to re-expand because it is volatility is increasing here, and we also have an upside pivot on momentum that also gives us another type of statistical target to look at, of which I have not done a back test. But now that we actually have let me just zoom into this, right? Please notice here, now that we have the official contraction phase starting on the 5-day volatility, and we have that upside pivot on stochastic momentum, now we have a specific area to look at the upside from. So that means that we actually fired the signal from this candle here from the area of about 150. So now the 125%, the upper bound of the first standard deviation, can be looked at for an exact target. And we also have DMI support, upside pivot on the DMI plus for bulls. And pardon me. And please look down here. We have that 32% very strong trending market on the ADX, the average directional index, right? So this is trending market towards the bulls. We have the DMI support, upside pivot on the stochastics, and also the contraction from volatility. What that means historically is that we have now a move to the upside that is leading to around the area of about $3.37 to the very highest value. Okay, you guys, so now that resistance level can officially change, right? So I'm talking about, let me get rid of this right over here and get rid of this, since we don't need that one anymore. We were just implying, right? And now this specific target, which was the original 125% objective, or the implied target that we would potentially reach during, upon the firing of this signal, that can actually move to the upside now, just like this. Okay, so that puts us now at that we're going to have to get 337 as tight as we can, right? There it is. Okay, so 337, and this 315 that we're looking at, it's still very particular to the daily time frame resistance of this candle right over here at 315, right? So right at the top side of that, of course, we have to keep that in the deep consideration here, because that is a very impactful psychological target, right, you guys? So upon that test, of course, we are looking at statistics here, right? The statistics are saying 125% at the upper bound of the first standard deviation. Remember that these are not certainties; these are just statistics, right? So meaning that these moves meaning that these moves happen upon a particular criteria. Okay, so, and another thing is that we've had 5 out of 5 iterations giving us a 100% accuracy. Yes, I get it. I love it. But the thing is that when we start looking at iterations of 50 plus, then that's when you start actually creating a habit here, or creating a repetitive pattern of statistical upsides, right? So in this case, of course, this is all we have to work with, and we're potentially completing the 6th iteration, 6 out of 6, right? So I mean, it's 100% so far, but it's not going to last like that for too long, okay, you guys? So that upside of the statistical mean taking us to that 337, please notice the 2-spot 618 located at 333, okay, you guys? So very much following geometrics, following statistics, and also following psychological targets as well via the daily candle that we were looking at right over here with the opening. I'm sorry, with the well, this would be the opening, right, at 315, with an opening of about 315. So let's go ahead and continue on the analysis here, because these moves are absolutely firing, and this is the next thing to look at, guys. Please notice now that this is the 5-day Gaussian channel, and we officially combated the resistance from the bottom side of the channel, and we have again, this has been a long time since we've been inside of it, okay, you guys? So, I mean, it's been almost a year, right? So we are back inside. We reclaimed inside of this channel, and the topside targets here to take a look at are absolutely relevant to what we're already facing, okay? So 353 is the top side of the Gaussian channel here, and you're looking at about $2.63 to that mean, okay? So if we're looking at this chart here, notice that 259 is the 3-spot 618. That's matching this is the daily time frame, by the way. So that's matching the 5-day time frame, $2.63 of the mean band of the 5-day chart. Right, so that's also very curious. And also the $3.53 zone here on top, it is essentially rhyming with the 333 of the 2-spot 618 that we were looking at right here for the statistical completion of the 125% upside from the upper bound of the first standard deviation, right, you guys? So now let's move on to the last part of this analysis here, as this is actually going to tell us essentially what we could face for the immediate short-term time frame leading into the following days, right? So please notice that we have the 30-minute time frame well above the SMA 14 represented by that pink line, and also very important to notice here that the RSI signal line represented by the cyan line, or the baby blue line, it is sitting in the gravitational zone of the bullish control zone. Okay, you guys, very likely for this to continue on to the upside, and in what gives us also a further validator for that upside is the 4-hour time frame, finding that we spoke about this yesterday. We spoke about the 4-hour and the 8-hour, giving us that support of the SMA 14 before a continuation to the upside. We met it exactly the way we spoke of, right? So now notice that the 8-hour time frame is also sitting in the gravitational zone of the bull strength percentile. This is very likely to continue to the upside. SMA 14 pivoted towards the upside too. Same situation with the 4-hour, right? Except that it's this is about 1.5% away from the gravitational zone, finding the support from the SMA 14 with an upside pivot. Very nice. And notice here, very important to notice this, guys, this is the daily time frame creating that bullish cross. We spoke about this being a higher likelihood that we can find the upside based on us sitting within the bullish control zone here. So that succeeded the upside of the SMA 14, and we have broken to overbought territory. Okay, you guys. So now the 3-day time frame pivoted straight to the upside. Very nice upside pivot on that SMA 14, and of course, you guys, our very own 5-day suggesting a continuation to the upside, and now in the gravitational zone of the bull strength percentile with an upside pivot on that SMA 14. Very, very, very likely for a ticker symbol VIRI to continue to the upside. Okay, you guys, I don't know how to tell it to you in any other way other than how I've been telling you since literally 26 cents this asset, right? So Frank B too, right? So guys, this is absolutely important. We're definitely suggesting a continuation to the upside here, and a pretty powerful one at that. Okay, you guys, but please remember that anything that I say here can be invalidated with any type of bad news at any moment. Okay, you guys, so definitely remember first and foremost that I am not a financial advisor. Take whatever I do show and iterate within these videos as just a form of entertainment, as I cannot suggest for you to buy, sell, or hold any assets whatsoever. I need you to do your own due diligence, and everything will be cool. Okay, you guys, but with that said, I wish you well, a very, very good night, and I will catch you at the bell mañana. Adios.